I am the recipient of the Veterans Quilt that Hospice was selling the raffle tickets for. I was ecstatic when I got the call from Ron Padilla a week ago that I had won, because I had actually forgotten that I bought the ticket back in December at a craft show. But my whole reasoning behind buying the tickets was because my mom and dad were both taken care of by this hospice facility when they were ill. And it was just a way of giving back in some way, and then just kind of forgot about it. But it really means a lot to me that I've won, and after talking to Ron about the story of the volunteers that have worked on it, it's even more touching because it was something very personal to each and every one of them about somebody in their family that had served. Just like my father, this is him in this picture. He served in World War II in the Navy. So I thought I would bring this, and several members of my family also were in the military, in the Army. My deceased husband served 16 years in the Navy also. So it really means a lot. And the story behind it, if everybody can be able to share that story, they'll see the emotion behind all of it too.
So, Becky,
Ron Padilla with Sangre de Cristo Hospice. What we're doing here today is presenting the Spirit of 45 Veterans Quilt made by our volunteers to a lucky recipient, Becky Vialpando, and presenting her not only the quilt itself, but the spirit of what the quilt represents. Our volunteers are very important to our organization in that they provide many hours of support for our services and our programs. They spent many hours in creating this quilt with emotions in mind and value about their loved one, as we throw this up here, about their loved one in during World War II. The quilt has many squares on it which represent to each of our volunteers something special to their hero, whether their hero was someone that served across the waters or were heroes here in the States. But each one of these squares represent something special to our volunteers. So our volunteers have a very big stake in this quilt. So presenting this quilt to Becky today, I believe, is a special memory for Becky as well, because Sangre de Cristo Hospice actually had both of her parents at one time in our services. So she's very aware of Sangre de Cristo Hospice, what we do for the community, knowing that we're the only nonprofit hospice in the community, that also that there was a connection in that her father was a Navy veteran in World War II, and similarly that some of her siblings were also military, had some military service as well too. So Becky, we're happy to present this special quilt to someone special, and we hope that you'll be able to display this with some pride for not only your family, but also in memory of how it was made.
Lowry Schreiner, I'm the CEO of Sangre de Cristo Hospice, and we're really happy to be presenting this quilt today. Our volunteers do so much for our agency, and veterans are a big part of our mission. We love taking care of veterans, and we love that they've served our country and all they've done, and so this quilt being in memory of World War II veterans is very special to our organization, and it's extra special that someone who won the quilt actually had their parents being served by our agency, and also that her dad was a veteran. That's extra awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.